Hey, what's up? My name is JMJ Lee and welcome to my channel. This month I'm doing 31 tips in 31 days. For the entire month of July, I'm doing 31 tips. Every single day, a new author tip. So, this is tip number 10. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about compatible writing advice. Compatible writing advice for you, for your methods, your process, however you do things, however you write, create, put ideas together on paper, however it works, whether you're pantsing and or plotting, using note cards, little post-its everywhere, a mood board, whatever it is that you do, compatible writing advice to your style. Now, in the first video that I did, I went into talking about not taking on too much writing advice because not all of it's going to be compatible with you. You can actually derail yourself by trying to shoehorn in something that doesn't work for your style. In the 7th video, I was talking about following other authors because they sometimes give good writing advice, but cautioned you against following writing advice that doesn't fit your style. Now let's smoosh these two tips together and say, what if you took writing advice from another author? Now this could be any author, not just New York Times best-selling authors, as I talked about in tip number 7, but any author, you know, a peer of yours, a friend of yours who writes books, whoever, right? Find authors who are doing the same thing that you do, and maybe they've got a little bit of a tip that could get you a leg up on how you're doing things. I'll give you an example. So I follow a number of authors on various social media platforms, and one of them is Stephen King. Love Stephen King. He's a funny guy, actually, but not all his writing advice works for me. That's my style. Some of his writing advice works great for some people, and that's okay. Another one I follow is Delilah S. Dawson. Now, Delilah S. Dawson has a very similar writing, I'm just going to say, approach than to what I do. So, for example, she follows Lisa Cron's Story Genius, but she doesn't use scene cards all the time. I don't know. Oh, I don't know that she does. I shouldn't assume that she doesn't. But what I do know is that she still uses an outline. Now, Lisa Cron says, forget outlining, use these scene cards exclusively for everything and only this and just this. Outlining won't get you there. Now, I don't know how Delilah S. Dawson outlines, but what I do know is that she follows the kind of the structure of Story Genius, which is, you know, the story beats of, you know, your character has a disbelief and then certain things happen to change their mind, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to give away the elements of Story Genius in this video, but at the end, they have changed their mind about what they believed in, their disbelief is dispelled, and they've grown as a character, and there's your character arc. Right? Outlining is a great plotting device. So she still follows the kind of, you know, the idea of Story Genius while still outlining. So it's this hybrid thing. And she may do other things, I don't know. But I only know what she posts on social media. Like, here's what I do. And I'm like, oh my God, I do that too. So one of the things that she does is she'll take the snippet of outline that applies to a particular scene or a chapter that she's currently writing and put it at the bottom of the page while she's writing and drafting. Now, I don't know about you, but there's been many times when I've done a great job outlining how I want things to go and how things are going to be, and then I go to draft it, and then I go back to my outline and I go, oh my God, I forgot to put this thing in, and now I have to shoehorn in this other thing or ask myself, do I really need it, or whatever, and sometimes it makes an editing mess. By taking that little snippet of the outline, this is advice for me, this is what helps me, right? I'm able to stay on track and go, did I do this? Did I remember to do this part? And cross it off as I go. That style might not work for everybody. You may be shaking your head going, oh my God, I can't do that. That's not for me. That's fine. It works for me. So find someone like that for you that does similar things. Maybe it's a method or a trick that you've never heard of, and you give it a try and think, oh my God, this is great. And if it doesn't work, you toss it out. But find these folks that are compatible with you, or seem to be compatible with you. And then, from there, you can kind of reach out to them and say, hey, what do you do for this? Do you have any other tips when you're drafting? Like, how do you do this? A lot of fellow authors, even the big name authors, will respond to your questions. So you can reach out to them and say, hey, how do you handle your editing? Like, what's your editing strategy? What's your strategy for this? What's your strategy for that? And you may get some good tips from an author that you know is compatible that'll strengthen your own game. So that about wraps it up. Finding authors that are compatible with your style, your approach to writing, editing, doing author things, what have you, and picking their brain a little bit, seeing what little tricks that they've incorporated in their methods that might make your methods stronger. All right, so if you like this video, please smush that like button, and as always, please subscribe. I post every day this month, July 2024. So, I'll see you tomorrow.